Maybe I'll try this one.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome to the Unangry Black Woman podcast where we have real conversations on real topics with real people. I am your host, your healing coach. And remember, the Unangry Black Woman podcast is more than just a podcast. It is a movement, it is a mirror, it is a safe space, and it is where healing meets truth. And today, you already know we had to bring your favorite, my favorite, Keon Fox back to the mic for episode 3.
What's up, people?
Hey, hey. And today we are talking about and breaking down Tyler Perry's The Straw. And he's going to get me, but he's a Tyler Perry critic. So I know definitely he'll be speaking for a lot of the men today. So we had to bring him. And just quick disclaimer, we haven't had a conversation prior to today. So you're getting real conversations in real time, raw emotions, raw info in real time. I watched it first and then
Yeah, you watched it and then was like, "Hey, I want you to watch Straw.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think."
and then we tried to watch it together, but I fell asleep. So
I think it's good that we didn't watch it together.
yeah.
So we don't know what each other thinks about the movie. So
Not at all. And so if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I did do a live probably after I watched it. Didn't give a spoiler alert. I don't even think you watched the live. But I thought it was worthy of me coming on camera that day and saying something about Straw. Okay? So without further ado, do you want to give them a recap of what Straw was or your...
No, I would love for you to do the recap of Straw.
I'm just going to tell them what happened for real.
Break it down. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So shout out to Taraji. Taraji P. Henson was one of the lead actresses. And so it gives you her day. I think the movie gave you one day. So it gives you a day of her waking up and all the travesties that happen in her day. And so she's a woman who was in poverty. So it looks like she had low income. She lived in, her apartment was not well kept. I even think she was behind on her rent that day. And she's dealing with a sick child who has some special needs. I think she had seizures and some other illnesses that weren't disclosed. But she has a sick child, and she gets her off to school, and she can't afford school lunch. That was one of the issues. Again, her rent was behind. Then she shows up to a job that is just stressful. I think she's a grocery store clerk, and her boss is... You laughing?
Go
Not
ahead.
a good take. Not a good
No,
take.
no,
Anyway,
this is a great take.
her boss.
I'm just reliving the movie in my head while you talking. So go ahead.
Her boss is writing her. I guess at work she got a call from the school and she had to leave, and her boss didn't want her to leave. Gave her 30 minutes to get to the school and get back, and she had to get some money out of the bank. Right? Get some money out of the bank. So anyway, between going to the bank, going to the school, when she gets to the school, she learns her child is taken by CPS. So her child is taken out of her custody when she gets to the school. On the way back to work, she gets into a car accident and experiences some police harassment, as well as her car breaks down. And because she doesn't have insurance and registration, they tow her car. So she walks back to work. She gets fired for being 2 hours late versus the 30 minutes that he granted her. And in the midst of her asking for her check because she had to pay her rent that day, he says the policy is for it to be mailed. In the midst of going back and forth, the grocery store is robbed. And so she shoots the assailant as well as her boss, and then she proceeds to the bank where she wants to cash the check. They cannot cash the check because she has no ID. When she demands her money, it then becomes a bank robbery in action. And then the police is called, and here you are for the next hour or so watching a fake bank heist or bank robbery, and you learn all the things. Did I miss anything?
So we will have spoilers. So if you haven't seen the
yes.
movie, go see the movie. Come back so we can discuss it because we're gonna talk about it all. In this
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, I think that was a good recap.
Okay.
So what did you think about the movie?
So one, I'll be honest, and so I'm a Tyler Perry fan. So let's just put that out there. I love Tyler Perry. I love the way he tells stories. I love that he tells our stories. But what Tyler Perry does is, in his Tyler Perry way, I call it Tyler Perrying, he gets something that should have happened maybe over a period of time, he crams it all in. Okay, so all of that to happen in one day was a lot. Okay. So I'll go out there and say that, but that's Tyler Perrying, okay? But can it happen to someone? Yes. Will it happen over a period of time? Yes. What period of time? Week, months, days, years? Who knows? But I think the overarching theme of the straw, which is the straw that broke the camel's back, I think he embodied that and captured that really, really well. I think as being a single mom at one point, I think he really highlighted the single mom struggle. I think he highlighted the Black woman superwoman cape. I think he showed systemically how there's things that come up against you, but more importantly, near and dear to my heart, he displayed mental health beautifully.
Gotcha.
And I think the undertone is we don't realize how much people are going through. They look normal. They present to work. They present to the bank. They present well. They even help. She even helped I don't know if Sinbad was homeless, but she even helped somebody else struggling.
Right.
So even in that, there's still a giving. And we present very well until we don't. Okay. And so what you saw, what broke her, or did you want to? Okay. So what you realize is that during the bank heist, her mom calls her phone to get her out of the bank so she can surrender to the police. And you learn that her daughter this whole day is deceased. And so in the movie, you see her take the baby to school. You see them wake up in the morning. You see her go to the school. You see CPS take her. You see all the things that were figments of imagination in her head where she's out of tune with reality. And that, for me, was beautiful because that's exactly how it happens. People are like, oh, you have a nervous breakdown. You feel like it comes. No, it's coming because we have so much piled on. And you don't know the second or the thing that's going to take you from being out of tune with reality. And so I thought that was beautiful. That was why I really enjoyed the movie, because it embodied the mental health piece.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now your take. Y'all, he hired on Tyler Perry. Go ahead.
So I think the cast, I think they did a good job with the cast. I think Taraji was dope as usual.
Shout out to Tiana Taylor. That's my other girl.
Tiana Taylor did her
Sherry
thing.
Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd did her thing.
Shout out to Sinbad.
Always shout out to Sinbad. Always. I think that, okay, I agree with you as far as the mental health piece. I see what he was trying to do with it.
Did he do it? Did he land it, though? Did he?
I think for you, yes.
For you, he didn't?
I think it could have been done better. So I'm not trying to bash, but when I started to watch the movie, and I watch a lot of movies, I don't know if whoever is listening, if y'all watch a lot of movies, but this movie to me was two movies put together. It was John Q, and it was Falling Down. Have you ever seen Falling Down?
I've never seen Falling Down.
So Falling Down came out in the 90s with Michael Douglas. And basically, it was basically the day that the straw broke the camel's back, and you know what I'm saying? He had enough.
Okay.
Go watch the movie. It's a good movie.
Okay.
But to me, it was those two movies combined. Again, the straw breaking the camel's back, just having enough and just being, you know, at your wit's end. That was Falling Down, being in the bank and making the day about you trying to do for your child. That was the John Q piece.
Okay.
So remember John Q, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Denzel. Shout out to Denzel.
So to me, those were the two movies that this thing reminded me of.
Okay.
I agree with you that he tries to deliver a message, and to some we can sit there and say, hey, we'll ignore all of the unrealness because the message is the message.
Okay.
So like you said, all of this stuff happening in one day, not saying that it can't, it's just like, it's what happened, not that it happened in one day. It's just everything that happened. So when we get to the grocery store,
Her job. Okay.
it's like 9:00 in the morning. She just dropped her kid off. That grocery store is packed. And I think disclaimer, we started to watch it together and she fell asleep because she had already watched it. So one of the questions that I asked her, I was like, is this during the pandemic? Because the way that grocery store was, I was like, yo, I ain't never been in a grocery store where it's crazy like that.
Have you ever been to the hood grocery store on the 1st and the 15th, or when people got their stamps?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Buffalo.
Okay.
What we talking about?
Okay.
I've never seen a dude bust a bottle, throw a bottle at Taraji, at the cashier, and then the boss be like, get your ass back to work. I've never seen that.
I know it might not be your experience, but that may have happened somewhere.
Right, but we keep saying may, so you've never seen it either.
Oh.
Right, so that's my point. I've never seen that happen before. The boss, played by Glenn Turman, amazing actor.
I'm amazing.
Right? But
Colonel Taylor, right?
yes,
Okay, shout out
you
to
were the meanest, cruelest. You almost were a pimp. The way that you were talking to her, like for no reason. It was just like, yo, this is crazy, right? And maybe, so I'm just like, yo.
All the things and you focus on the grocery store. Go ahead.
Say it again?
No.
What'd you say?
I say all the things and you focus on the grocery store.
Well, no, I mean, because I'm being brought into her world. So when I'm looking at her world.
Maybe that's how she viewed it.
Cool. Again, if that's how she viewed it, he did a bad job of putting it through her eyes. We're watching something and I'm like, okay, this is where we're watching her. So for example, Acrimony was great because in Acrimony, you knew that you were watching this through her eyes. You knew that this is her interpretation of what's happened during their relationship. No?
Yes.
Okay. So with this, I'm watching it as just the story. This is the first 5 minutes of the movie, mind you. Right? This is the first 5 minutes. This ain't 30 minutes in. This is 5 minutes in.
15.
This is 5 minutes in. Right? So again, then it gets to her having to go to the school. The daughter's, you know what I'm saying, the CPS done got the child. I'm like, damn.
Again, point, it is through her eyes. That really did not happen, but the whole day was through her eyes. Remember, she's out of touch with reality.
Yeah, but you don't know that until you watch the end of the movie.
So watch it again and you'll see that he did a great job of showing you what didn't happen.
So in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, you see all of this and you're like, damn, this has got to be the worst upon worst upon worst upon day, right? So you getting evicted. Your job is terrible. Your boss is over the top with the disrespect. They take your job. They take your kid the same day. Your stuff get thrown out.
Yeah, I didn't even say she got evicted. She got evicted.
Stuff get thrown out.
Yeah.
You so happen to get into a crash with the police that threatened to kill you the same time and then you go back to work and get fired. Right?
Yes.
So again, not saying this can't happen, but damn, you did a great job of just packing everything into 5 to 10 minutes of a movie. Right? So it's like, again, I watch movies a little bit different. I'm like, yo, this is not believable to me. But it is what it is. I'm taking it for what it is. Now, get to the point that I actually do like. Oh, sorry. My fault. She goes back to the job to demand her check. And again, this nigga is like the meanest. This nigga is the Ike Turner of grocery store managers, because he just treating her like shit.
Not the Ike Turner. Okay.
Yo, he treating her like the way he talking to her, the way he treating her, like, it's just ridiculous, right? Store get robbed.
Right.
She saved his life. He turned even into Ike Turner even more. You set this up. So she kills him too, right? That's what happened, right?
That's what happened.
All right. Now I'm like, all right, this is crazy. Where is this going? So she goes to the bank to cash her check, because all she wanted was her check. So again, I get the mental health part, because it's like, yo, even through all that, I'm like, yo, you done went through so much. I think I asked you before you fell asleep. I was like, yo, something ain't right with her.
You did say.
I did say that.
You did say that.
So I'm not just trying to totally bash this movie, but I did notice very early on, like, something ain't right. I think right after that, you probably went to sleep. Again, she saw the movie already. It wasn't that she was sleeping on the movie. She just was tired and, hey, y'all married. Y'all know one of us going to go to sleep. Y'all do it in y'all house too. So she gets to the bank, and again, she don't have her ID. So they can't cash the check, but she still got the gun. So she put the gun on the counter. She's not trying to rob the bank, but the teller sees the gun.
I forgot about the gun. See how storytelling is different? Go ahead. Same movie.
So the teller sees the gun.
Two different stories.
And thinks that, hey, she's trying to rob the bank. Also, there's a little device that the daughter made for her science project or whatever that's in the book bag, and the people at the bank think it's a bomb.
Right.
So then...
But she wasn't trying to rob the bank.
She wasn't trying to rob the bank, right? But at that point, hey, she has hostages at this point. The bank is on lockdown because, you're already in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Right? So for the remainder of the movie, it's her dealing with the bank situation, which we've seen 50 million movies like that. This is not where I'm dissing Tyler Perry. I'm just saying I don't have to give y'all all this other information about what happens in the bank because we've seen it before. So at that point, Tiana Taylor is the police, which...
She did a great job.
Tiana Taylor does a great job at everything she does.
Absolutely. But
this is the thing, and this is where Tyler Perry, to me, always misses the mark. He writes his movies like plays. So what he does is he tells you too much early on, or he has a character try to be you. Tiana Taylor was us. Mm-hmm. Hey, care for this woman. Tiana Taylor started to care for the woman out of the blue.
When she saw the video of the grocery store.
Right. It was like, oh, no, I think she just wanted her check. Oh, no, she's put out, like, you start seeing all these things. Like, Tiana Taylor basically sees everything that we saw, but she never saw any of this stuff. So she just automatically has that heart of gold to sit there and say, hey, this woman has been through something.
Yeah.
Right? So through the rest of the movie, she becomes the hostage negotiator. Mm-hmm. Oh, Negotiator is the other movie that it reminded me of as well. Because you had Samuel Jackson wrongfully accused of doing something. He took hostages. Kevin Spacey is the negotiator, which he's also another police officer. So it's two cops. Yeah. So that was the other movie it reminded me of. So that's 3 movies right now. So it's John Q falling down in the negotiator. But so during the rest of the movie, Tiana Taylor is trying to negotiate with Taraji to get her out of the bank. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm doing a good job of recapping so far. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got all of this. I only saw it once. Rockman Dunbar, which was her black boss.
I think of the chief of police, right?
Chief of police. Mm-hmm. They might as well not have him in the movie. He ain't say but 2 lines during the whole movie, right? It is what it is, though. But basically, by the time that you get to the end of the movie, I think my biggest problem was the end of the movie. It was the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, and it was probably the last 5 to 10 minutes of the movie. And I'll tell you why. I think the twist that, hey, her daughter passed the day before works so much better when we know that one of them knew beforehand. What you have to realize is that Sherry Shepherd's character already knew. But there's nothing that happens in the movie that lets you know she knows. There's nothing. There's not even a phone call where she drops the phone and is like, and looks down, and there's nothing. So while you're watching the movie, Sherry Shepherd is the bank manager. And again, so you have Tiana Taylor, who's the hostage negotiator / detective, and you have Sherry Shepherd, who's the bank manager. Both characters take such a liking to Taraji's character and believe her and are riding with her throughout this whole movie, but you don't understand why. And you don't understand why until the very end of the movie. But again, while you're watching it, you're like, why?
So Tiana Taylor, you knew she knew too?
That's who told Sherry Shepherd.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. You have to sit there and say, let me go ahead and fill in the gaps. Because again, Sherry Shepherd didn't know, but Sherry Shepherd is only talking to Tiana Taylor.
Okay.
Remember, that's the only person she's talking to as far as on the police side, right? Because again, before Taraji even goes into the bank, she notices you come in often, but I don't know you.
Right.
She didn't know none of her story. So by the end of the movie, when she's like, my daughter died yesterday, and she's like, I know. Mm-hmm. You never see where she gets that.
Absolutely.
And comes to the aid of, so you're just seeing two people be overly nice and overly caring and have her back, which is a good thing, but you don't understand why because there's no explanation for it. So I think that if you would have had a piece where at least, like, you don't even have to say it if you're still keeping the twist, but have a point where Tiana Taylor is saying something to her and she has a moment, she drops the phone, or she just has that look like, you know, something happened. You never get that. Like you just said a couple minutes ago, you was like, you asked the question because we never got it in the movie.
Right.
So again, the beginning of the movie. Oh, the other part is one of the. Go
ahead.
One of the bank tellers that's held hostage has her phone on record. Mm-hmm. So she's recording Taraji talk about everything that she was going through. Right? You remember that part?
I do.
Now, Taraji kills this part. Taraji kills every part, right? So she kills this moment. And this is the moment where everybody is supposed to understand how much she's been dealing with and how much has been the weight of the world being on her shoulders. Absolutely. And everything that she had to deal with.
Absolutely.
So I got what they were trying to do automatically from that. The only part about that I didn't like is that you had the apartment, the lady that ran the apartment that was wanting her money out there on her phone looking at it too. Again, he doesn't like plays. That woman ain't never care about you no matter what. She never cared to understand your story, and I don't think that even if she knew your story, she would care either way, because that was her demeanor with her in the morning. That was her demeanor with the cops. That's her demeanor. Like, that's not going to change because but again, it's a movie, so I get it. But I thought that that moment that Taraji had was a great moment. I thought that if they would have not showed her, that probably would have been a better scene. But I did like that moment because that's what made everybody kind of relate. Mm-hmm. That's what made the people on the outside, the people watching, relate to her. So I get that. That was a good scene. I'm not going to knock that scene at all. Okay. But again, the first 5 to 10 minutes, I was like, yo, this is way too much. And then the last 5 to 10 minutes where we got the twist, I'm just like, dang, you could have did that better. And this is the second part of they could have did that better. The mother is the one that tells Taraji, girl, you know that child, you know your daughter died. It was like, yo, there was nothing from the mother that showed I actually care. It was just like, why you in them people bank? You know that girl dead. It was like, well, then, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm finished.
Oh, okay. And so I think you go into the cinematography of it all.
The writing.
Well, right. Whereas I look at the theme of the movie. Okay, so we got the details. What did you think of the theme of the movie? What they were trying to show you about single moms, moms with children with special needs, low income families, mental health. What did you think about those themes of the movie? The systemic police thing, how the bank sometimes treats us. Like,
Again, I think that those are important themes, and I'm glad that he touched on them. I think that if he would have took his time and spread it out a little bit more, it would have been more impactful. I'm not knocking the attempt. I'm saying that, hey, because you had everything terrible happen in 5 minutes of the beginning of the movie, it didn't give us enough time. For example, we didn't have enough time to focus on the daughter. The daughter's only in the movie for the first 3 minutes of the movie. So I don't have the connection that you want me to have with the daughter.
I don't want you to have a connection.
Not you.
Oh, you're talking about Tyler Perry.
Right.
I just want you to talk about the themes. What do you think about the themes? Is it something that you saw that you didn't know as mothers go through, didn't know mental health looks like that? Let's break down the themes of the movie. We got the writing, okay? We appreciate it. What about the themes? If any stuck out to you, or...
Well, it was two things that really stuck out to me the most. So you have this scene in the movie where she's in the bank. The bank is, everything is on lockdown, and there's older people in the bank. They're hostages, and they're looking at Taraji, and she's saying, "Oh, I'm so tired. This is so hard. Whatever." And they say, "Y'all need to stop being lazy. Y'all don't know what hard is." Right? So, and again, I wish they would have had more time to touch on it, because it's like he hits a good topic and then he goes away from it so quick. So I think that there's a real discussion between what the older generation had to go through and what our generation is going through now. So the older generation look at it like, you ain't went through shit compared to what I went through. But in reality, one don't make one any different or better or worse. Stress is stress. The weight of the world on your shoulders is still the weight of the world on your shoulders. But even our generations ain't connected enough to sit there and really be there for each other. So that older couple was looking at it like, yo, what you complaining about? Like, it ain't that bad compared to what we had. So I think that's a real big topic, because yeah, y'all went through a lot and she's going through a lot, and they both the same, but we try to easily dismiss one person's pain because we felt like we've endured more. We compare pain, we compare struggle, we compare trauma. So, like I said, I would have loved if they stayed on that more than 2 seconds, because it was a real important topic.
And let's stay here for a moment, because what you touched on was amazing, because we do that. A lot of us, especially... And I'm speaking of Black women at this point, Black and brown women. A lot of us watched our mothers and grandmothers endure and go through and still keep moving. And so we've adopted that mentality that we still got to keep moving.
Right.
I'll give you a light example. Thanksgiving in the Black household, mom, grandma, whoever's cooking never sits down, right? Never sits down. I don't even think Big Mama and them eat at the table with everybody. She's probably snacking and munching as she go. And then after everybody eats and she's making sure everybody has a good time, she's in the kitchen cleaning.
Right.
So we never see, rest. We never see restoration. We never see, them taking the cape off. And all generationally, they've passed the cape down to us. And so this is what leads up to straw, or your breaking point, right? Because you have this cape on that has been passed down because you're watching the baby boomers and their parents. You're watching them endure and just go and just go and just go. How dare you ask for help? How dare you sit down? How dare you rest? Because we have the guilt of being lazy, or somebody else, you have it better. Somebody else will want your life, so on and so forth. And so then let's go one generation under. The generation that we raised, right? They're mental health conscious. They're going to rest. They're going to relax. And what do? We call them lazy too. Right. Or we call them overly sensitive.
Right.
Because And again, it's a fine line with those generations on pain and what we need to endure. There is no space for rest. There is no space to ask for help. There is no space to not do. You got to get it done. And then when you don't have a support system, back to Taraji's character, when you have no support system and what she told her boss is, it's me and my daughter, that's all she got is me. There's no days off. Right? And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because generationally we do that. We can be drowning as Black women. Hey, I need help, and everybody else waving off the boat, thinking you waving, but you drowning in plain eyesight, right? And so, again, that was one of the themes that I think he touched on, and I think, you know, whether you're a single mom or a mom, Black and brown, I think anybody can relate to that. Her struggles. You may have never been evicted. You may never, had all the things happen to you in one day, but you know that sacrifice that you made, and crying yourself to sleep or crying in the shower. You know that. And so I think he did a great job in highlighting that. You said it was another theme.
The other thing is, and this goes back to my critique, but of wanting us to get an understanding of, hey, they found out about her daughter. Like, we know they found out about her daughter. Even if they don't give the big reveal,
right,
we still know something happened. Because the one thing that happens that this movie, I think, touched on again slightly, but didn't stay there enough, was with mental health, no one understands you. So in this movie, you have the two compassionate people, when in reality, you might not get that at all. So am I saying anything wrong?
No, that's a big reality. I think depression and anxiety, unless that has been your experience, you don't understand it. You feel like it's lazy. You feel like shake it off, get up, but it's much deeper than that. So I agree. I think mental health, you don't always know it.
And for us, we look at the person that talks to themselves. We look at the person that constantly mumbles or just walks or whatever it is. We look at those people and we write them off like, oh, they crazy. We don't know what they've been through to get to that breaking point. We don't know at what point did their mental health take a turn. We don't know. So with this movie, like I said, I'm not mad at what he was trying to do. And I think that, especially when you and I talk, it comes off as like, yo, you a Tyler Perry hater. It's not that. It's just that, yo, you are talking about real topics, real important topics. Stay there for a couple seconds. Don't let that just swing past, because, the casual person would be like, for example, a single mother might be like, yo, this movie touched me, but I ain't a single mother. But if we're talking about mental health, whether you're a single mother or a father or whatever, this should be the message no matter what. So when you see Taraji going through what she's going through for the day, like I said, for it to be the first 5 minutes, space it out just a little longer so that we know, like, yo, she's going through it, as opposed to just saying, like, this ain't real. When she's in the bank, give me a reason as to why they started to care, because we know that in this world, a lot of people don't. We've seen so many people, whether it's young Black women, young Black men that had mental health issues, that when the police come, they gonna kill you because they don't understand. So to hurry up and throw the compassionate people out there right off rip, it's like, that ain't real, because that don't happen. That don't happen as much as the misunderstood portion of it happens.
Right, but I think it's lending a lens to something else. What if this did happen?
But it does happen all the time. That's the problem.
No, but I'm saying, what if he showed in real time what's needed in real time? Those two women represented what's needed in real time. And I appreciate that. It doesn't always have to be one-sided. Again, two things can be true, and I can show a struggle and show them what's needed. She asked, Taraji in the movie said, if I go to jail or when I go to jail, will you raise my daughter? Because she saw the picture of Sherry Shepherd's family. And Sherry Shepherd said, yep, I'm going to talk to my husband, but I'm going to, she agreed to raise her daughter. Again, she knew her daughter was deceased. But what I'm saying is, what if that could happen in real time? What if somebody would be compassionate? Because that's what you need. Not just in a straw moment, not just in a crisis, not just in a psychotic break, but as a single mom, as a mom with special needs, as a low-income family, you need that compassion. Even Sherri Shepherd, a glimpse into why she chose that branch is because she wanted to help her people in that community get financially literate, understand checking and savings, and, do all the things. So she was already a compassionate person. We need that.
No, we do.
So I'm just saying, I like the lens of it because it showed you what's needed in this situation. Did it diminish the crisis? It didn't. Did she still go to jail? She did. But just for that moment, you know me, she felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt valued. That's what's most important when you're going through a crisis.
I got you.
And I'm not just saying crisis, I'm saying everyday life. So those two compassionate women, that's what's needed. Even the elderly, even though they said you were lazy, they still had compassion because they got on the bank teller for, like, don't you have a heart? Like, we hostages, I'm ready to go home. But, can't you see? So even though you can't identify or you feel some type of way, you can see clearly that this woman is going through something.
Yeah.
So whether you the landlord or the house manager or whatever she was, clearly, unless you're just not compassionate at all towards anything or anybody, you felt something for that lady.
But that's my problem with it. You write these characters to show no compassion, and then it's like, yo, in the blink of an eye, I'm supposed to know that now you're compassionate. It don't work like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not mad at any of that situation that happened in the bank. I'm not mad at it. What I'm saying, though, is give us a little more so that it hits home for everybody. Because, again, I'm talking as a man, right? Mm-hmm. So, again, as a woman watching this Tyler Perry movie, you might be like, yo, this hit me on several different topics. Mm-hmm. Yo, if I was ever a single mother, yo, I could relate to this part. If I was ever this, I could relate to this part. Again, as a man, I can't relate to any of this that's happening. But what I can sit there and relate to is, hey, those people that are acting like Taraji or having those moments, because remember, when the twist comes, you see, oh, she's been going out throughout the day as if her daughter's with her. Mm-hmm. So even when I told you at the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, something ain't right, because the school teacher was looking at the principal or whatever, was looking at her funny. I'm like, something ain't right.
Right.
So we know what it's like to see the people that's talking to themselves. We know these people. We've seen these people.
Right.
So no matter if you're a single mother or not, I don't think that has much to do with the mental health aspect, because mental health ain't just to single mothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, make this part more relatable. So I get the whole thing of, yo, these two women show compassion. It would have been beautiful to sit there and say, hey, this was a reason that I show compassion. Like I said, you don't even got, if your twist is, hey, the daughter's been dead, I'm not mad at that. But show me where that switch flipped. Because with Sherri Shepherd, you never saw the switch flip. You saw her in fear, and then one moment she was not in fear anymore. But we never understood where it happened. So when it gets to a point of, can you raise my daughter while she like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, you was just scared as hell 2 seconds ago because you thought this was a bomb. And now you're like, yo, I'm going to raise your daughter. I would have loved to see, again, a part where you find something out to sit there and say, that's where her compassion came from. Because her compassion came from, I know your daughter's dead. And everything you're doing right now,
so
like,
you can't relate if the writing isn't what you need it to be? You don't think other people other than single moms could relate to?
No, what I'm saying is that,
I'm sorry, I'm not even talking to the mic.
Right.
Sorry.
No, what I'm saying is that when you get into a movie, if you find, for example, I'm going to say this for Tyler Perry fans for the most part, and the people that don't like Tyler Perry fans, because there's people that are critical and there's people that, yo, no matter what, I love it, right? Mm-hmm. I think that once a true Tyler Perry fan finds that one spot of relatability, we good. Hey, this don't have to be real to me. I'm entertained. Yo, is this show called Black, what's the show called? Black AF on Netflix. And there's an episode. Tyler Perry's actually in the episode, but they talk about these type of movies and how one person will love it and another person will hate it because of the writing and everything else. So this is not anything that's uncommon. But going back to what I was saying is, hey, there's nothing in this movie where a man is like, hey, I can relate to it. So it's like, okay, show me the movie. Again, John Q, yo, I got a son now, but when I seen John Q, I didn't have any kids. I related to what he was going through because they expressed it well enough throughout the movie that, yo, I felt for this man no matter what.
So back to my question. So the writing determines if you can relate to the movie?
The writing determines whether or not I will sit there and tear it apart. Okay. So, for example, I ain't never been a sharecropper. I ain't never been a vampire either, but I thought Sinners was excellent.
And I guess for me, the writing, I got the critique on the writing, but I don't want to be surface level. Like, there are themes that are real themes and that are real struggles in real time that need to be talked about. But we're talking about if Sherry Shepherd knew or didn't know, and the timing and the. So I guess for me, when I look at movies, and there are some Tyler Perry movies that are just written wrong. But I guess when I look at movies, is what's the theme? What can I take away from it, if anything, whether I'm in a situation or not? I could relate to John Q as well and never been in that situation, and I'm not a male. So I could relate to Boys in the Hood, and there's a lot of movies I can take things away from and don't have to be in the instance. I'm talking about the real themes and real struggles of people that he highlighted in the movie.
Right, but so what I'm talking about is, when you start with some stuff that just seem like it's so far-fetched, you lose people. So before I can get to watching the rest of this and really have that open eye or open mind to sit there and take that what you taking, you lost me in the first 10 minutes. I give you one better.
So hold on. I got that. But now that you sat through it, what do you think about the themes in the movie? Tell somebody else to bring it on in. Or you gave Tyler his critique, but hey, y'all, watch this. Y'all just got to get through the first 15 minutes, but watch it because it depicts this. I got what you're saying. He loses you, and sometimes he's very extreme, and I said that in the beginning. He's Tyler Perry be Tyler Perryan, right? And so he does lose a lot of men in particular, and he tells you men are not his audience. Right. He tells you black women are his audience. So no shade, no tea, but what I'm saying is, the themes of the movie is stuff that happened in real time. And you, as someone who sat through the movie, who endured, right, we got the writing critique, but what do you feel about the themes? Are they real themes? Are they struggles? Did it bring something to you as a black male? Do you see your mom? Do you see your sister? Do you see your own self in parenting? Like, the themes.
So I just touched on one of the themes.
You did?
Right. So again, the other theme that I said, that I thought was important was how we disregard people with mental health. And I wish that was expressed more, but you had two people that were so compassionate for this person that I think that gets lost on how we totally disregard them. What you tried to do in this movie was, hey, let's record her talking about everything she went through, and this is the moment that everybody's supposed to relate to say, hey, everybody goes through this. I'm like, yo, for this movie, because to me, the mental health part was the biggest part of the movie.
Yeah, me too.
It wasn't the single mom stuff. It wasn't, hey, everything just going on throughout the day. It was the mental health. I think that the mental health should have been a bigger focus because there was so much going on with her. There were so many different ways you could have pinpointed this. There were so many conversations to be had in the bank between the generations that, so when we talk about themes, the mental health is a big theme.
Yeah.
So I'm not critiquing to sit there and say, Tyler Perry sucked. I'm just saying, like, you did a great job with sitting there saying, let's talk about this theme. I wish you would have stayed there more because I think it was more important than the time that you gave it. Because you're still trying to entertain and you're still trying to be creative when you're writing. But if we're talking about this theme of mental health, don't sit there and shorten it by, hey, Taraji's going to tell you everything that's wrong with her while somebody's recording her. Don't shorten it to that 5 minutes. Give me some more. Like, yo, when Tiana Taylor and Sherry Shepherd are being compassionate, give me some reasons. Because the crazy part about it, since we want to talk about themes, is that, yo, it takes a lot for us to be compassionate to those people. So that's what I'm saying. What about what's going on in their life are going to make you change to sit there and say, you know what, I need to do a little bit more. I don't know if this movie to other people, men in particular, if it drives home enough of a point to sit there and say, hey, look in the mirror. Hey, these people are all around. We need to be more compassionate. We need to not be so judgmental. We need to be a little more helping and understanding than sitting there just saying, oh, this person crazy, or, hey, they did exactly what they said that, we thought they did. That's the part that I'm saying. Because, like you said, Tyler Perry caters to a woman audience. He doesn't flush out, hey, there's other people that watch your movies and need to get that message the same way that you got it. So, again, like I said, if you sit there and say, yo, single mother, stressed out, going through this, that, and the third, yo, he got me in the first 5 minutes. Me as a black man, no, I can't relate to that. But, yo, give me a little bit more. I'm still watching the movie. Mm-hmm. Give me some more. So when I'm asking for more, I'm not sitting there saying, yo, this was terrible. I'm saying, yo, I like where you're going. Don't cut it off right there. Keep it going. The mental health was the biggest part of it, and it was the piece that we got the least. And you're leaving it up to us to be smart enough to know how to identify it, deal with it, and even acknowledge the wrong in ourselves as far as how we currently deal with it. I think that could have been more stronger. But the biggest theme to me, again, which I loved about the movie, was that, yo, by the time that we find out her daughter has passed, oh, you had mental health before today. That was the crazy part. Like, yo, if you're watching the movie, you think that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. No, you were already gone. And that's the part that's not discussed.
No, you weren't already gone.
You were talking and walking around acting as if your daughter was still alive.
But the straw that broke, and let me make this clear for the audience, the straw that broke the camel's back was the night before when her daughter died.
Right.
So with all the things that were happening in her life on an everyday basis, the straw, because I want everybody to understand, the straw is an accumulation of pain. It's an accumulation of trauma. It's an accumulation of unspoken and unmet needs, right? And so what for her was her daughter's death sent her to a psychotic place.
Right.
And so it wasn't like, we can't say that she had been dealing with depression or anxiety or she had mental health issues. But we can say that her struggles, her unmet needs and all the things, her relationship with her parents, her relationship maybe with the daughter's father, I don't know. We can say accumulation, it broke her when her daughter passed.
Right.
And so if you are watching and if you're tuning in, we need to stay there for a moment because I need you to understand it's only one thing. And it doesn't mean that it is going to necessarily be death or grief. It can be the loss of a job. It could be a car accident. It can be your pay is hell. It can be just one thing. It doesn't have to be very dramatic or extra. And it doesn't mean that you have a mental health diagnosis. But what I'm saying is it's just one thing. So we have to change the narrative of how we work, how we move, how we release, how we ask for help, how we show up, how we say no, how our boundaries are, because it only takes one thing that can take you over the edge. And so I just wanted to make that clear because we don't know if she's been dealing with mental health. Her straw wasn't that day. Her straw was the day before when she lost her kid.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When you watch the movie, it gives you the impression that, hey, this is when all of this happened today. No, it was the day before when her daughter passed. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing you said.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight because I don't want people to miss that. And I don't think it was highlighted mental health on purpose because I thought he did a great job of showing you how you present normal and present every day like nothing is wrong. And so there's a lot of people that present, out of reality, or we call it dissociative disorder, because something had happened. And so I think he did a great job, because that's what happened. You never know the person you're sitting next to, the person you talk to, the person you serve, the person you on the phone with. You never know what's really happening. So I love the way he did that, because I think if he had told that story, people would have been like, oh, it's another mental health story, So I love the way he hid. I call it the medicine and the candy.
But this is the crazy part about that, as far as saying, hey, it would have just been another mental health story. Once you reach a breaking point, it then becomes a mental health story.
Absolutely.
Right. So,
but I think nobody's tuning in to another mental health story. Not everybody. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying the stigma, the negativity, oh, here we go. I don't think people are signed up to watch those kind of things. But I think if I can hide it, and what makes a great movie for me, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time was Sinners, that came out. I love a movie where we can have a conversation and there's so many views and it's so deep that I can get this from this and get this from this. So that's why if you keep saying, she keeps saying theme, because you can get so much from it. And I don't want to take away the creativity of it. I love a movie that I can sit and talk about and get this and get that and hear somebody else's perspective. You got this, you got that from the movie. And so, I think this was one of those movies where you can talk about the mental health, you can talk about this single mom, and it's just not isolated to single moms, period, and the struggle and the mom guilt and the this and the job. So I think it's, like I said, systemically, how the police do, systemically, what the bank. So I think there was a lot of things, but I love a movie that you can have a discussion and people get different points of views from it. So even as a male, if you couldn't relate, hopefully it'll make you maybe ask different questions from your mom or sisters, or you can kind of see a different point of view of what women may be going through. Okay. Go ahead.
No, but that's the part that, again, I think that it's great for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you say, hey, I hope that this did something to make you want to ask these questions. And when I say, yo, he needed to do more, then it's like, but the theme, I'm like, I get the theme, but I'm telling you, like, yo, the way that he presented it to a man as opposed to the way it's presented to a woman, it don't come across the same way.
Okay.
So it's again, when we say mental health, and like I said, mental health to me was the biggest theme of the entire movie. Yo, I get that it's happening to a black single mother. If you want me to take away all of those things as well, then it's like, yo, you have to be a little more, again, creative with how you're presenting it. So again, for the black single mother, it's going to make perfect sense. Like you said with Sinners, yo, the one thing that made Sinners the ability to have so many talking points is because, hey, I put all of these things out right in your face, and I did a well enough job of writing it where I didn't have to overly explain. So, for example, hey, when you watching Sinners, yo, notice that the Asian girl goes from one side of the street to the next side of the street. It's showing that the Asians had a store on the white side and the black side. I didn't have to say white side, black side. It was like, yo, I'm going to watch it, or, hey, did you catch that? No, I didn't. I'm going to go back and watch it. Hey, I didn't even know Asians was in the South. Then you go look up your research. Yo, it was Asians in the South. I didn't know they had that accent. They really have that accent. It's a bunch of things that's just like, yo, these are here because this is what happened. If you don't know this happened, it makes you want to go look into it.
Absolutely.
It's how it's presented to you. You know what I'm saying? So again, my critique of Tyler Perry is the way that you present it to men and the way that you present it to women are totally different. But if we watch a movie like Sinners, or if we watch a show like Forever, it's presented to us in the same way. I don't have to be one or the other to understand what's going on in the movie or feel a way. That's the part that I'm saying. So again, you can watch Divorce in the Black, where in the first 5 minutes they having a funeral and the lady's talking about, hey, take my son out the casket, and yo, you lost me. Mm-hmm. Now, you might be entertained and say, yo, I'm going to stick through this. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you lose people and then you sit there and say, hey, well, why didn't you stick around for the rest of it? Because the first 5 to 10 minutes was crazy enough for me to sit there and say, you know what, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So again, when you have great movies, in my opinion, because, okay, we've discussed the themes, but when I'm talking about a movie, what I'm saying as far as a great movie is that it reaches you and we can have these discussions without having to sit there and say, let me snatch you up and tell you what the theme was or stress to the theme. We both watched this movie. We both took away something very important to the part that we want to talk about it. Not to the point of, hey, one side feels this way because this movie was so great and the other person feels like, yo, this was trash. And I'm not saying this movie was trash because it wasn't. What I'm saying is, though, again, if what you hope that happens in that movie, hey, I hope that this makes you want to sit there as a man to go look at your mother, go look at your sister, or whoever is going through this, single moms, this, that, and the third. What I'm saying is, hey, that theme, push that a little bit further. But what Tyler Perry does in all of his movies, in my opinion, is you write men so terrible that men are turned off from watching this. Either the man is the greatest man on the earth that's going to put up through whatever you're going through and be there waiting on the side, or he's the worst person in the world. Glenn Turman's character, as far as that clerk, the manager, he was the worst part, like the worst representation of a man in that movie. And I understand that you have people like that, but when you constantly get Tyler Perry movies where it's one or the other, it's like it makes it hard to relate. Now, again, we talk about Tyler Perry movies that I actually enjoy. Acrimony was great. And it made me sit there and have real conversations just like this because I felt like, yo, that was a perfect example of how you presented it. Because you could think that, okay, it's her dogging a man, or we watching a movie about dogging a man, right? But then it's like, oh, that's her interpretation. Oh, that makes it dope. Oh, look at this, that, and the third. So that's what I'm saying as far as the presentation of it. How you present it to me, it has to be that. So it's not, it's not a dogging. It's just, if you want certain things to stick, it has to be presented a certain way. I love the mental health aspect of this movie. The thing that makes the single mom thing not stick out too much is because I've seen that in almost every Tyler Perry movie. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of Daddy's Little Girls, which was the flip of that. You know what I'm saying? But you see that in, what's the Madea movie where Angela Bassett is taking care of Lance Gross and he's the basketball player? What's that? The Meet the Browns? Mm-hmm. You see the black woman struggle in every Tyler Perry movie. Every Tyler Perry movie, with the exception of Daddy's Little Girls. And actually, I wouldn't even say not in Daddy's Little Girls.
Good Deeds.
That was no, you still had the black woman struggle in that. The mom was homeless with the kid.
Oh, not Good Deeds. What's the one with the Cartwrights and Kathy Bates?
Yeah, that
Family That Prays.
Family That Prays. Right. So Tyler Perry's made like 30 movies outside of the Madea ones, and it's like, yo, you can name maybe like one, maybe two, because the focus wasn't on, that. But for the most part, when you're dealing with that type of situation, he's made so many movies of the black women struggle that this doesn't catch me because it's like, oh, typical Tyler Perry movie. But the mental health part did catch me.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said, stay there a little bit longer, Tyler. Yo, and to be honest, as a man, I don't mind getting a movie about mental health because I think, honestly, those are movies that we need to see. We see certain movies all the time, whether it's Slaves, whether it's this, whether it's that. Yo, we need that mental health movie.
I agree. I just think a lot of people still want to be entertained, right? And so I think, and I would love for people to sit and watch mental health movies or documentaries or just kind of get a better understanding of mental health. I would love that. But I think sometimes we focus on being entertained. So to watch,
we do.
Marvel and to watch, and no shade. You like what you like, but sometimes we got to get out of what we like and get educated on some things. And so. But you all go watch the movie. Don't let us, spoil it for you. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, there's a great mental health movie called The Soloist. It's with Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr. It's an excellent movie. It came out years ago, but it's a great movie. There's plenty of mental health movies, but to your point, I do think that we want to be entertained. And this is my critique for Tyler Perry. If you're going to give us this message and entertain us, I'm just saying, hey, this is what I want as a fan that supports your work. That's all. Nothing wrong with it.
And I appreciate, I appreciate your perspective as always. And I appreciate Tyler Perry for telling our story. So I know it seems like every story is about this, but we have stories and they're not told often, right? I know Tyler Perry tells them often, but in Hollywood, our stories are not often told. So I am pleased, and I'm a forever fan because I love the stories that are being told. They might be extreme. They might be jam-packed. He makes his movies in a week. So I'm not, saying the writing is always the best. But what I am saying is he makes a point to tell our stories. You got a question?
Yeah, I want to know what's a movie that you feel like has not been made for us that you would love to see made, a story that hasn't been made, where in stress upon me what the theme of that movie would be.
That has not been told?
Yeah. Or maybe has not been told enough, if that helps.
I don't know. I would have to. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think that humble beginnings can lead to success, and I don't always see the humble beginnings, and I don't always see the substance of how people got to where they got to. And I like stories that give hope. I like stories that speak truth. I like stories that, are conversation. So, but our stories, that's a great question. I don't know.
See, I think that, no, and I think it's great that you don't know, because I don't know either, because to me, that's the example of a great movie is you gave me something that I didn't know I needed, and I appreciate it. So I didn't know that I needed Pursuit of Happiness.
Right.
Humble beginnings, struggle.
Absolutely.
But when you watch this, and again, I watched this as somebody that wasn't a father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Was never been in this situation, but it was like, yo, this was,
absolutely,
again, Sinners.
Yeah.
Forever. Those type of things where it's like, I like the things where you give me something that I didn't know I needed.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a great question. I have to think on that. But, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Again, go watch the movie. If you can withstand the first 5 to 10 minutes of it, go ahead and just see how the movie flows. We would love your comments, your opinions. Go ahead and comment below for us. I think the thing I want to charge you all with today is I want you to check in with you. So male, female, woman, child, man, whoever is listening, I encourage you this week to check in with you. Where am I carrying too much? Okay, what areas in my life am I carrying too much? And what do I need to release before it breaks me? Okay, so we're taking inventory. What are you carrying? What's too much? What is something that you're not even supposed to be carrying, but you decided I'm going to carry it? And then what can be released before it breaks you? Okay, so go ahead and enjoy the movie. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Unangry Black Woman Podcast, where we speak truth and healing. If you like this episode, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts, reviews, and your comments on this episode. The conversation does not have to end here. Go ahead and follow us at Tiffany Fox Inc. on Facebook and Instagram. Remember to join us every Wednesday at noon for a new episode. But until then, take care, and healing happens in community.